Get out of here. Get out of here. You broke AJ. You broke him.
Kind of close.
Well, hello there and welcome to the Confused Breakfast. Do you remember the pure joy of a trip to the video rental store as a kid? Well, of course you do, but I'll tell you what many of you don't remember: being alive when JFK was president, which you had to be if you saw today's movie the year it was released. On this podcast, we revisit and dissect some of your favorite movies from childhood, but not today. Today, we dissect your great-great-great-great-grandfather's favorite childhood movie.
Yep.
I'm your host, Mike Schulte. Joining me, as always, two dudes who are miserable, perfectly wretched friends of mine, Sean Pryor and AJ Venz. How the heck are ya?
What's up, dude? I'm
We
great.
want a boodle.
Boodle.
A boodle.
Boodle. Don't they sound kind of Australian?
They sound very Australian.
I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah.
Probably going to be a lot of impressions today on the podcast.
Think so?
And they might turn out to be just Australian.
They might.
It always slips into it. I don't know how.
It'll fit well into this movie then,
Yeah.
apparently.
Well, that's fine.
Well, boys, on today's episode, sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook and Every Plate, we discuss a movie that was the highest grossing animated film of all time at the time of its release. A movie that not only signaled a major change in the graphic style of Disney's animation, but also can be credited with keeping the entire Disney animation studio alive and should thus be directly credited as being responsible for all of Disney's animated masterpieces to follow: Aladdin, Lion King, Little Mermaid, Frozen, and more.
You're welcome.
A movie that taught us all that if you have multiple puppies, you only have to name 6 of them. The rest are not important. We are, of course, talking about 1961's 101 Dalmatians. Woo!
Well, dang it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another nostalgic journey to the past with The Confused Breakfast. Sit back, relax, and enjoy wherever you are in the world. Take it away, boys.
I'm going to make it work.
Well, if you are new to this podcast, before you can say Bob's your uncle, we're going to review this movie scene by scene with a modern eye. But in order to do that properly, we must first discuss it with pure nostalgia. So let's channel our great-great-grandparents and try to figure out what the first time it was like when they saw this movie back in 1961.
Yeah.
Do it.
1960. AJ, we're starting with you.
Yeah.
We have to start with you on this one.
All right,
Please explain why, and then also give us your nostalgic ratings of this movie.
Let's be honest, guys. I made a mistake. I think it's a perfect mistake in nostalgia. I saw this movie in the 1990s, and I remember it being. I remember that you know the clamshells.
Oh God,
Yeah.
The bigger than usual
Yeah.
Disney
Classic.
clamshell. You can
Obnoxious.
smell it almost.
They're almost like somehow like they must have been some sort of safety option. Or like something
Yeah.
that
It was always kids' movies.
Kids can't chew up and swwallow as
You
easily.
put it in the VHS, but also give them the clamshell so they can
Right.
play with it.
So they can like sit there and just like.
like Frankenstein.
Anyways, check out YouTube.
Sick.
Yeah, no, but I remember this movie so vividly. I swore it was released in like 91 or like some point in the 80s. And then when we looked it up and Mike's like, you want to do 1961? I was like, okay, my bad. I'm dyslexic maybe? Fuck, I don't know. And regardless, this was one of those movies that I remember there was a very specific point in my life when my mom would just continue to come home with VHSs for us, with tapes, with whether they be rentals or she would buy them, you know, and bring them home for us, so we would have some sort of additional entertainment, you know, while she has to come home from work and then make dinner for 4 boys. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's really what it was. Hopefully some way, somehow, a cheap form of entertainment at that point. But regardless, 101 Dalmatians is like one of the reasons like I fell in love with dogs and became a dog lover. You know, I love dogs. They're one of my favorite animals. And 101 Dalmatians was a story, an animation that is like ingrained in your brain, I feel like. And it turns out it started a lot of new animation for Disney, so we'll get there. But no, it's one of the very first ones that I really do truly remember. There's something about it that's so calming, yet so kind of exciting for me when I was a kid. I love the movie, guys. I will give this a 9.101.
Look at you.
101.
Look
Yeah.
at you.
Yeah.
Sean, what about you, man?
See what I did?
Well, AJ, I think the reason that you remember it being out in the 90s is because it was re-released in 91.
There we go.
Which is when I was born.
Okay.
This movie, and I don't know like when I saw it, but this is the first movie that I remember seeing as a child in theaters.
Wow.
My first movie-going experience was this movie. And so I held it kind of dear to me. Like you try and think back to like what is the first movie that I ever saw and when was it? You know, maybe a little hard to do for some people. It like remembering that far back for me is really hard to do, and I think movies are a perfect like placeholder for time is when you see them. This one is it for me. I mean, it was blown away by like just a huge screen and dogs roaming around and having fun, and blown away. I'll probably have to give it a 10.
Wow.
A 10 for Sean. You know, I definitely remember, I think my grandparents were the ones that always had the VHSs of all the Disney movies. It was either all the Disney movies or it was like Smokey and the Bandit. And we'd always pick Smokey and the Bandit.
Hell yeah.
So, I mean, like, I definitely saw 101 Dalmatians, but I was actually more of a Lady and the Tramp guy.
Okay.
If you're talking about dog movies
So a
from
little
Disney,
earlier.
that's
You
a
little
little bit
tramp.
earlier. Yeah. You know, everybody knows the spaghetti moment.
Yeah.
It's like this one was not as big of a deal to me, but it was cool the first time I saw it. I'm going to call it a 6.5. That
Jeez.
takes us to an 8.53 as a group. And nostalgically, that's pretty high, actually,
Yeah.
surprisingly enough. 8.53 ties in the 12th spot with Just Friends is how we nostalgically feel about this movie.
Perfect.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yes. That's it.
Yes, Ryan Reynolds was in Just Friends. You're correct.
Ryan Reynolds has serious Pongo energy. Let's be real, guys.
Yeah,
Come on.
true.
Hey, maybe I'll have a question later where we talk about like maybe modern day casting.
We
this,
better.
you know? Okay.
Yep.
You better.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we got to strip away all that nostalgia. We got to talk about it with a modern day eye from here on out. So first, we got to get the important details of the movie. Sean, what do you got, bro?
Produced by Walt Disney. Screenplay by Bill Peet, based off the book by Dodie Smith. Music by George Bruns. Animated by Blaine Gibson, Ollie Johnston, Mitt Cal. I'm going through all of them.
Get it.
Don Lusk, Walt Perurgoy, Art Stevens, Frank Thomas, and a shit ton others.
No, I thought you were going through all of them.
No, not all of them.
All right.
Yeah. We don't have that much time. But directed by Wolfgang Reitherman, Hamilton Liskey, and Clyde Geronimi. They don't name them like they used to, man. I'm telling you. The cast, even more.
Are you naming a hockey team? Like,
Exactly.
what's going on?
Cast Rod Taylor. I mean, just like it's the most masculine name. That's what we had back in like the 60s and 50s and shit.
Big Rod. Sorry. Big Rod T.
J. Pat O'Malley, Betty Lou Gerson. I mean, Martha Wentworth, Ben Wright, Kate Bauer, David Frankham, Lisa Davis, Tom Conway, and Frederick Warlock.
Frederick Warlock.
It's just no one's names are like this anymore. It's always just like
Now we got
Bryce and Tanners.
now we got Kinley, Kinley Anderson,
Braxton and
Braxton.
Braxton and
Burko.
Braxton and Burko.
Okay.
Somebody's like, "Well, that's it for me on this podcast.
Yeah.
I'm out."
You can't make fun of my kid's name.
I watched a documentary like the making of this movie, and there were like Walt Disney historians on there, and I just found them so charming and funny. So I'm gonna do it like they did.
I love it.
As soon as the novel 101 Dalmatians came out in 1956, it was a smash hit with the kids and kids at heart. The children's novel was brought to the attention of Walt Disney, and the story rights were optioned and acquired the following year, 1957. Wanting the project to be Disney's next animated feature after Sleeping Beauty, the studio got to work and hired writer Bill Peet.
Roger.
Pete stuck mostly faithful to the original Pete
It's a lot of teeth.
Yes.
Yeah, you got to talk
Yes.
with your teeth.
to the original book, changing a few characters here and there. And combining characters there and here. One detail of the marriage between Roger and Anita, where the dogs mimic the act of marriage, had the dogs also reciting the vows of their own. Disney removed this from the script, fearing that the preciousness and grace of such a solemn religious vow couldn't possibly be uttered by animals, as to offend any religious types. Writer Pete sent original author Dottie Smith his drawings, and some storyboards of the characters and scenes. The author said that Pete had improved her story and that the illustrations were better than her book, giving her full blessing.
Lovely.
When Pete came to the casting, when it came to casting the film, Disney was has a slew of actors at the ready and step in and fill the roles. One note the studio did have was they wanted voice actors with deeper baritone voices to play the dogs in the film to give them more life and volume to the animal characters. Rod Taylor was a big part of this. Was a big get for the studio to play Pongo, being a big radio personality, and whose final film role was actually Winston Churchill in *Glorious Bastards*.
Wow.
Really?
101 Dalmatians was the first full-length feature film to use the Xerox method of animation. Basically, the animator would draw the illustration on paper and be put into a Xerox machine, and what would come out would be a perfect animation cell ready to be put on screen. This saved a lot of time and money, but also canceled an entire cell painting department at Disney. Mark Davis was the sole creator and animator of Cruella De Vil. He was inspired by Betty Lou Davis and the actor. Inspired by Betty Davis and the actor who would play the character Betty Lou Gerson. There was an entire crew who were responsible for drawing the spots on all the Dalmatians throughout the film, which was perhaps the most daunting process of the movie. 101 Dalmatians was released on January 25th, 1961, and on a budget of $3.4 to $6 million, the film made $303 million at the box office and has gone on to influence animators everywhere, as well as solidify itself as one of the films that built Disney. That is all I got, gents.
Well, and just to add on to that,
Yeah.
that whole thing of they apparently, the movie that just came out before this animated was like Snow White, or
Yeah.
it was
Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty, and
Sleeping
it was
Beauty.
like a flop. The
Yeah.
flop
Right.
of all flops. And they basically said, if this movie does not do good, we're closing our animation department.
Yeah.
And we're never going to make animated movies ever
They didn't
again.
really need it at the time
No.
because Walt he had Disney World and Disneyland at
Yeah.
the time, and
Yeah.
he was rolling in with just like non-animated pictures as well. So
Yeah.
So to think that this movie basically is responsible for keeping that animation going,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
huge.
That's a huge deal. Also, can you imagine being a part of that department that they're like, hey guys, we're not doing this cell department anymore. We got this trusty Xerox machine, conk, and we don't need you anymore. And then you get a call back like the next day, and they're like, hey, we need people to draw spots. You want to come back?
Yeah, I guess.
I guess, because you fired me from the other work.
yeah.
You just get reassigned to spot drawing.
Well, it was like because
It's like seasonal work. Like
yeah, like Lady and the Tramp and films before this were like, and even Walt was hesitant to do the Xerox process because he was so enchanted with
Oh, yeah.
how it looked because people would literally just paint
Yeah.
the cells and
Right.
like hand draw them and everything.
He definitely didn't like what this ended up looking like.
Yeah.
But then it made a bunch of money, and Walt was like, money.
Ah,
I love money. Sanctity of marriage. Here's a dick in a kid's movie.
Yeah, give me that green. Okay, so and just to clarify, when they say cell, are they talking about like kind of like drawing what the set is that these animated characters are on,
Well-
or is it like including the characters?
We'll get to that. It's basically kind of like the background was matte paintings
Yeah. Okay.
almost, and
Okay.
then the cells are just the animation, like Xerox cells that they would
One
put
at a
over the
time.
painting. Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
it's like it.
It's
I still
mind-blowing
don't
to
get
watch
it.
this and be like, how did they make this?
I still can't like fully grasp it, but that's
it's almost like epic.
Close as my
flip
understanding
booking,
can
Yep.
kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, up next, we got to go over to AJ, who does the research for us, gives us critical, fan-related ratings and reviews. What do you got on this, man?
Well, I'll tell you what I don't have is any sort of interesting, funny intro into the tomato meter.
Gross.
I tried, guys. I couldn't find anything red in this movie other than Cruella's car. But I will tell you this: the tomato meter, we're coming in certified fresh at 98%.
Ooh, 98% is tied for first place of any movie we've ever done with The Princess Bride. That is better. The critics are saying that 101 Dalmatians is better than all 150 plus movies that we've talked about in this show.
Well, maybe they should have had 102 Dalmatians in their movies.
Yeah.
It would have been better. So 76% from the audience scores. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. 7.3 on IMDb.
Okay.
That is tied with Big, Karate Kid, Point Break, Dumb and Dumber, Starship Troopers of all the movies we've done.
Starship
That's what
Troopers.
the fans think.
Yeah.
Fans don't think it's better than those movies. It thinks it's the same.
It's the same.
Yes.
Yeah, I would watch those back to back.
Yep.
Yeah, all of them.
Yep.
Anytime I watch Starship Troopers, I'm like, you know, it'd be good after this. 101 Dalmatians.
101 Dalmatians. I need a palate cleanser.
Yeah.
With some pups.
Pips.
I'll tell you what, Time Magazine gave this 1 out of 1. It is the wittiest, most charming, least pretentious cartoon feature Walt Disney has ever made.
Whoa.
Ever. Forever. Chicago. Sun Times. Raj. Ebe. He said it's a 75 out of 100. It's an uneven film with moments of inspiration and a fairly conventional tale of kidnapping and rescue. Is that conventional back then?
Yeah. Happened a lot in the 60s, especially in England.
This is not one of the great Disney classics. It's not in the same league with Snow White or Pinocchio, but it's
Yeah, because
passable.
Pinocchio's a fun movie to watch.
Oh yeah, dude.
Have you watched that at all recently?
But it's passable fun and will entertain its target family audiences. I'm going to go on because I want to jump on over to our exclusive. What did we call it? What are they? They're the
They're just the $25 tier. They're the Little Lebowski Urban Achievers.
Little Lebowski Urban Achievers.
It's a new tier we got on Patreon.
That's in our Discord. They're sending in their tidbits and their reviews. Let's see. Oh man, Luke Dawson sent this one in. I thought it was a pretty solid one, honestly. So I figured I'd read this before I get to the real fun stuff. So when the snow falls on Lucky, your heart just sinks. Spots, but seriously. Did they think there was also just happened to be 101 Labradors out and about? You've just won gold, silver, and bronze in the Moron Olympics. Silver and bronze. But who won the gold? It was Cruella. I don't have a specific memory of watching this movie as a child, but when our 3-year-old was 1, we went through a serious Dalmatians phase. I have seen it exactly the right number of times, 101. When she wants to avoid going to bed now, our little girl says, "I'm hungry, Mother. I'm hungry." Thanks, Rolly.
Truly. I truly am.
Truly.
A true classic, quotable, beautiful animation, the music, best villain of all time. What more could you ask for? Good triumphs over evil as Roger, Anita, Pongo, and Perdita in the 99 get their dream house thanks to a self-inflicted hit. If she doesn't scare you, no evil thing will. But only if she can get out of her own way. 100 out of 101 spots, -1 for glamorizing cigarettes. But to be fair, this came out 3 years before the Surgeon General warned against smoking.
All right.
It was. He wasn't Surgeon General yet. He was like Surgeon Captain before he got promoted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Well done.
Appreciate that.
Bid Dow, he was also in our Little Lebowski Urban Achievers, giving us a review. Watching 101 Dalmatians as a kid, I enjoyed it very much. It wasn't my favorite Disney movie, but I watched this a lot. My mom loved it, so we threw it in all the time. My favorite scene is when Cruella is in her car and it shows her with the crazed look in her face. I would say I also enjoy the scene where the puppies are being born and the dad is just counting as they walk through the door. The oh shit look on his face as he counts the puppies. Nostalgia rating, 6 out of 4. It's good feedback.
Well done.
guys,
Bid Dow is Wes Clark.
Wes Clark.
Yeah.
There we go. Thanks, Wes. Here's some other reviews, guys. I just wanted to read the title of this one, honestly. 5 out of 10. Imagine 101 anythings humping your leg. Yeah, that's a very good point.
Does that happen in the movie?
Oh, yeah.
I just could not get through the movie without thinking of something humping my leg.
Did you not see the Ulysses cut?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, guys, this is a 1 out of 10. This is the last one I'll give you. This was probably the most important rating that I did find of this entire movie. Stephen Chase in 2021 said, "This is the worst animal-related cartoon."
Whoa.
And warning, there's spoilers in this. I hate how the movie is unfunny.
That's the review?
Spoiler alert.
That's not a spoiler. Well, I guess it is. If you're looking for a comedy, that is a spoiler, right?
I hate that it's not funny.
Look, here, hang on, look at how many exclamation points there are on this.
No. And it was a 1 out of 10?
There's a 1 out of 10. There's so many exclamation marks of it. Here.
Darn
Maybe-
it.
Maybe you can see it. Maybe you can't.
It's not funny.
I hate how that movie is unfunny.
Well, thanks, AJ.
You're welcome.
We got to talk about DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL playoffs. They're bringing you an offer that'll help make the playoffs electrifying. New customers can bet $5 on any game and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. This is the easiest way to get into sports betting. It's low stakes. It will provide you endless excitement, just like it did my wife, who used this code last month and is currently way better at winning money than I am on DraftKings. She loves it when I have to force her to watch sports. She's like, okay, well, then I'm just going to do this. Last night, she goes, I bet the Chiefs score a touchdown first. She bet it. Guess who scored first? Chiefs. She won. I lost all my bets. Unreal. If you've ever considered making watching sports more entertaining and fun, this is your chance. I just checked the other day, and I've tried 5 different betting apps over the last couple of years. DraftKings, though, is the absolute best. It's the only one I use. I closed all my other accounts except for DraftKings. Think about the options for fun bets to make this Sunday. The NFL playoffs are rolling. I'm already seeing a few teams that look a little unbeatable. I might have to ride the Houston train.
Whoa.
I'm just saying, Houston came out and destroyed the Browns. I was also thinking we should start a new thread in the Discord. Maybe we can do some little gamble bets. Like, hey, who do you like this weekend? I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code CONFUSED. New customers can bet just $5 to get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net. In New York, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/football for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources.
Go Flyers.
Go T-Swift.
Well, boys.
Yeah, man.
Well, boys, a movie has finally come along where we can talk about one of my favorite subjects. Killing lots of dogs so I can wear their skin. I know a lot about it. In fact, did you know that you need 99 young Dalmatian puppies in order to make 6 total coats out of their fur?
6 coats.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's totally true. But you first have to rip them apart from their warm home and loving families, and then you have to kill them one by one. You can really do it any way you like. You can poison them, you can drown them, you can bash them in the head, you can use chloroform. But then after that, you have to use a really sharp knife to peel off their skin, and you have to go super slow. And if you don't go slow, like, you'll get a rip in it, and then it'll just like, it has to come off in one big piece. Or basically that puppy's, is this weirding you out?
I'm sorry. I'm just listening to you and staring at that Leatherface mask up there.
Well, listen, if this is weirding you out, you've come to the right place, because welcome to the scariest movie we've done on this podcast. And it's a kid's movie. Walt Disney was fucked up. Here we go.
Yay.
Scene number 1. In 1950s London, England, we meet a Dalmatian dog named Pongo and his owner Roger, who's a bachelor. Pongo spies Perdita, a female Dalmatian, and her owner Anita, and tricks Roger into meeting Anita in the park. Sometime afterwards, Roger and Anita marry and move in together. Pongo and Perdita are also eagerly expecting puppies when Anita's old school friend Cruella De Vil comes to call.
Just exotic names, huh?
Yeah.
I love saying them, huh?
It's super cool because like you got Perdita and Anita.
Get it?
But then you've got Roger and you've
Pongo?
got the anagram for Pongo.
Wait, what?
Yeah, flip around the letters.
In
I mean,
for
not
Roger.
really though.
Pongo and Roger?
I don't. It doesn't.
I
had to look
really
at it.
thinking about it. That's great. Okay, cool. Anyways, what were you gonna say, Mike?
I was just gonna get us right into talking about how the Disney music, like for any of these old animation films, takes me back almost harder than anything we've ever done on this show. Something about, I mean, basically George Bruns. George Bruns was eventually, he did a ton of the scores for all these movies. He eventually became Disney's musical director. So basically George Bruns had everything to do with the sound of all these animation stuff. And like, I'm telling you, man, it takes you back to a simpler time.
Yeah.
When you were a kid and just like hearing that go on in the background for this, it's just incredible.
It is this might be one of the most like hard-hitting nostalgia intros for me of these Disney movies too. It's a very classic. Mike, you probably hate the introduction of it because it takes forever.
Wasn't bad though.
But at the same time, like it's about the music and they do keep the animation interesting and like the spots that are bouncing around, and I love the spots that turn into the music sheet.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's
masterclass, really.
I think it's amazing, man. I think it's really, really fun, and somehow as a kid, like you're enthralled with this. I was even watching this with Harrison, and like he's like stopping what he's doing and watching this introduction almost more than some of the movie itself.
Dude,
it's
I've,
crazy.
I've gone on record. Willa, my daughter, she's 1.5. She will watch nothing but Miss Rachel on YouTube. I want her so bad to just watch something with a storyline, and I'll put on like Bluey or something. She's like, nah.
Yeah.
This is the first thing that stopped her, and she sat down and watched
Nice.
it. Other than Miss Rachel, so it was like, okay, we're off to a good start.
I just
the
love-
intro or the movie itself?
Everything.
Okay.
Yeah,
I just
I mean, she
love
watched like
this-
40 minutes of it.
Yeah.
With this intro, I like that the filmmakers are having fun with it too. Like
Yeah.
they're just like kind of in on it. And if they're going to be working on this, because this was like what they acquired this in 1957, it didn't come out until 61.
61.
Yep.
So it takes a long time to do these movies, But like in this intro with the music and everything, like you're saying, the blots on the music sheet and everything. That you don't have to do that. This whole credit sequence is we talk about it all the time with movies like Speed and stuff. It's like, why the fuck are we still here?
Yeah.
With this, it's just like I could stay here forever, and then we just end up in Roger's apartment, which is like the best bachelor life you could ever ask for. Just you and your Dalmatian, you make music, and you just have the window open, and your dog just talks to itself.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Yep. I mean, let's be real. Was this basically? Oh man. Grass is greener. No, grass is greener. It's not that cool. I wish I could go back to a bachelor pad that just had a bunch of like musical instruments in it. And
When they really show it, it's pretty disgusting.
it's
in there.
it's terrible.
And it brings about so many questions I have, like how was Roger really able to get Anita? Like at some point Roger had to bring Anita back to his place.
Yeah.
And she had to be like, we live in very proper England in the 60s. You are a complete and utter slob, and I can't marry you.
Well, you've been bachelors before. Like when you are a slob until you have a girl come over, and then you work you take a day off before the date,
Right.
so you can
right.
clean your apartment,
so that you can be like, well, here's my place. Okay, we're leaving.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is fun.
Hey,
So-
there it is. All right.
Should
Anyways,
we go to your place? Maybe we go to your place. Huh?
yeah, it's like, hey, you want to come on over and see my cello? Yeah.
I'm a
And-
composer.
I'm a composer.
I have
It's like,
French
oh, you're
horns.
poor. Gotcha.
Oh, you don't make any money. You're a musician. Cool.
Did you see the degree on his wall though? It said bachelor's at whatever the conservatory is. The music.
London.
Yeah, it was like it was I wish I could remember it. It was like a music
smart.
conservatory. Like he's got a degree.
He's
in it.
clearly good at what he's doing.
Good musician.
Yeah.
Bachelors in being a bachelor.
And by the
Until
way,
now.
we also see about how he's playing how many instruments?
He's got a lot.
He's got a lot,
Yeah.
and he's playing them. He's playing a trumpet.
Yeah.
That's in a different sheet of music altogether.
AJ, this is back before you had these people just hitting spacebar on a computer and calling themselves musicians.
You're right.
These
you're
are
right.
real musicians, okay? There's
You're
no computers and auto tune. That was back when music was real.
You're right.
None of this bullshit teeny bopper stuff nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Auto tune and shit.
Yeah.
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 Let
like,
me-
like when Gore was a band. You
Yeah.
Oh man,
Fucking-
that's real music, man.
real music.
Yeah. let me ask you a question. I absolutely love how this movie does this to where like the animals are referring to their owner.
Yeah.
Like that's one of my favorite things. Have you ever seen like the Sad Cat Diaries and Sad Dog Diaries on YouTube? It's an amazing account where the animals are the ones in control and the humans are just there, right? I love that.
Roger.
Yeah, I love that. But I also like how they imply that all dogs are just like their owners, how they show all the women walking by.
Yeah.
Do you think that's the same for you guys?
I think because I've heard that you start to look like your dog or vice versa in real life,
Like that.
I think there might be something to it.
Do you have the same personality as your dogs?
I don't know. Me and Scott are pretty similar. I'm going to be honest with you. You've met him several times. So you guys, I'm saying like he definitely, I think we both have that. Well, I want you to want me, but I don't want you to know that I want you to want me. I want you to come to me. I don't want to be in your face.
I think
until I have to go outside.
I think I'm like our dog Winona, our girl that we have. She wants love constantly and needs to be,
Validated
pet constantly, and but then also just chill about everything. Like gets a nail or like a screw stuck in her skin. Is like, oh, whatever.
So let me ask you this:
Is Katie Theo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If Winona tells a joke and no one laughs at it, does Winona get really mad and upset?
Yeah.
when Winona texts a joke to the other to Scout and Sergeant Meowstein, she's like, "Stop!"
You guys blew straight over it. Like,
Has it ever occurred to you? Just wasn't that funny?
no, that's fine. I just want it to be acknowledged.
Just acknowledge my presence.
I am acknowledging your joke by not saying anything.
Acknowledge my contribution to this conversation, damn it. It's valid. It's fair.
Let's not take what we're talking about too seriously. Is what I'm trying to say.
So Mike, are you Sergeant Meowstein?
Yeah, the only two things we got in common is we both wear black all the time,
Yeah.
and we have stomach problems.
Yeah,
he's
and
been shitting all over the place.
Yeah, high
so
fives.
same thing. We poop about the same amount of times a day. So yeah, that's about it.
You guys you both need to lay off the tang.
That's taking it back.
That's a callback.
That's an old joke.
That's a deep cut right
For
there.
those out there that
baby.
didn't know, I drank a lot of Tang as a kid. Gave me irritable bowel syndrome.
Yeah. Well,
Apparently, Tang's used to clean dishwashers. Don't drink it.
Oh, is it? I'll grab
Yeah.
some then. on my way
fuel
home.
our astronauts.
Yeah. Well, tomato,
All right,
tomato.
another question for you. Thinking about these movies as rational adults are funny because the stuff you would never think about as a kid. How much time passes between their meeting at the lake and their marriage? It's not implied, but like a week.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's how it
think
happened
that's how it was
back then.
It's
you
like
know?
if I find one, I'm not letting this one go.
Oh, girl,
Exactly.
talk to me. Let's get married.
It's not like oh yeah, like let's like Netflix and chill, and then like while we're Netflix and chilling, and after we just got done chilling real hard, then I'll just also be scrolling on my phone and swiping right or left.
Instagram models.
Like that's it. Like that's what today is. Back then it was like I have no other options.
if you have
This is my life.
if you have the wherewithal to notice your meet cute.
Yeah.
Like we never get those in real life. We never have a meet cute with our significant others. If it happens to you in real life, you have to marry them a week later.
Especially if it's a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, our whole lives are movies.
My wife and I, from the day we met until the day we were standing at an altar, we weren't at an altar, it was on a beach.
Yeah.
6.5 years. Our dogs would have been dead.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well-
or at least not able to have kids anymore as dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's I probably shouldn't say how long my now wife
Would you
and
like
I
to?
were dating.
Why don't you say it?
Oh, 11 years.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's because you met in grade school.
No.
You made
No,
damn sure.
Yeah.
AJ's like, we need to wait for a global pandemic
Yeah.
before we can get married.
we should wait till the worst time to get married. Let's
So
wait
when my
until
friends Mike and Sean can't even come.
let's wait till there is the possibility of mass death
Yeah,
and world
The kind of the
population
height
reduction.
of it too. Like,
Yeah.
We want to usher in the goodness.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's suffering.
Yeah.
We want to be like, hey, come celebrate our love.
Let's do it. All right.
But one more question about the wedding, though. Did you notice that nobody was there?
No one's there. She's wearing black. And the dogs are the only ones wearing white.
They don't even have friends or family there.
No.
So do you think they just don't have friends and family? Or maybe it was that the friends and family did not approve of their rushed wedding.
Well, Roger doesn't have any friends. Obviously.
He's got to have a brother or like a buddy that he met at school, right? They both went to college. Don't they have any college friends?
I think, they met each other, and before they met each other, they were just friends with their dogs.
They don't have time or money. They're all broke musicians. Him and his friends. He's like, yeah, well, you live 7 blocks away, and I don't want to pay for a taxi.
I don't have shoes.
I don't have any.
I had to eat them.
so poor.
I had to eat my shoes.
I'll be honest with you. I had to boil my shoes again, and drink the broth, and that's my
Sorry,
life.
I can't walk to see you.
I broke a violin string, and now I'm really really suffering. Like that's it.
But what about do they really imply here that they're when they do get married and move in, like that they're supposed to be poor, right? It's kind of implied, right?
Yes.
And
I'm
they say it's
glad
a
you
very
bring this up.
small. They're like, oh, it's a small, very modest house. And
We lived in a small near the park in a modest house the first 6 months.
are they implying that they are poor?
Yeah, because Cruella makes jokes about it all the time. Now she is a cunt, but at the same time,
Contello.
yeah, Cruella De Vil. That's it. And
It's good.
Thanks, man. And but she always comes through and is just like cracking jokes
Yeah.
about it. But at the same time, she's just rude. So it's like, well, you don't have as much money as me, so you're just poor. They could be that, but they do make it mention.
They kind of mention it.
Well, they're just really poor, and we're scraping by with our nanny who brings us tea and cupcakes
Full-time nanny
and
who
takes
lives in our
care
house.
of our dogs. What? Like that's poor in England? Move me right away.
Acts as our doctor and also our dog's veterinarian.
Yes. Like you have money to afford a dog midwife. What the hell is you're not poor. Somebody's doing okay in that. Maybe Anita was like the rich one. Maybe Roger married.
That's what
into
it
the-
seems like to me. And then like it's implied that he gets his like gig, like
He's like writes songs and sells them or something.
that he like wrote
he's a composer.
wrote
so
a big song.
It's like people who write for pop musicians now.
Yeah.
I mean, half the people that like pop artists now get a mention that they were a part of the songwriting process, and then you see 7 other names.
Yeah.
Roger is one of those 7 other names.
I mean, that's a
Okay.
big check coming to you.
Yeah.
Either way.
If Roger were alive today, he'd live in Nashville.
Yeah, he'd
Yeah.
live in Nashville, and he'd be doing okay.
And he'd be,
doing
like,
just fine.
He'd be at a coffee shop complaining about how too many bachelorette parties come to town every weekend and how it's not the old Nashville
He'd
that
also
it used to be.
He'd also be if this was nowadays, he would be divorced twice. Anita would have been his first wife.
Yeah.
And then he'd still have Pongo, but he just sits at coffee shops and drinks beer.
Yeah. He in his coffee shop.
Beer at a coffee shop.
And then the coffee shop that he goes to,
That
he doesn't
sounds
tell
awesome.
anybody
With
about.
Pongo outside in the winter.
You got to chain your dog up outside. Everybody knows that.
What'd you say?
Oh, I forget.
You just say you chained the dog? Sorry.
So Cruella walks in. What do we think of Cruella?
What a bitch.
Yeah.
Is this one of the most hated characters ever? In not only in animation, but in just like cinema?
There's 0 redeeming factors.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
All she wants, I mean, yeah, she's a bitch, and all she wants to do is have furs, and specifically these Dalmatian furs, which is just insane.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's one of the best and most like cruel and disgusting villain motivations of all time.
She looks like a fucking David Bowie character, guys.
Dude,
this is too much.
I have known people like this. I think like that have looked like this, and they have bodies that look like the anatomy skeletons in your high school science class. Like they look like they smoke Camel Crushes all the time.
Cool.
And they have Pomeranians as hair. You know, like it looks like it's like the not quite shoulder length, but it's like
she couldn't
the
find
ponytail.
two of the same color either.
Yeah, it's weird.
Well, you can't like they're not. I mean, she's a cunt. We've gotten around that.
Yeah.
Sorry if anyone's kids listen to this, but you know better.
Look, this is based in 1961 or 50 something England. Okay,
Yeah.
they use that word liberally.
Know
cunt.
what it is we
Got
do
it.
here.
All right, we're
Yeah.
just staying true to the form.
But like they could have. Let's take this all over, and let's say that Roger and Anita. Let's say that instead of dogs, they had 2 kids.
Okay.
And let's say they now have like 15 kids and they're a boarding school, and Cruella shows up and wants to steal their kids from them to start like a child labor like factory. We'd be like, oh God, that's tough. Oh, okay. Well, I guess this is part of the story. But she wants to kill Dalmatians, skin them, and wear their fur. And we're like, fuck you, bitch. That's a dog. You can't kill animals.
Yeah.
Like you can't kill animals.
You can't.
And
And
you can put a kid in a child labor factory all you
Yeah.
want, but do not kill an animal.
And life's life, you know. But
Sorry.
we're not talking about dog death. So
Roger and Anita still have her come over and hang out though.
Why is she friends with
And
them?
like even Pongo is like, yeah, it's okay. They're onto her.
Are
Don't let her
they?
come over.
they know that she comes over enough that the dogs know what's happening.
She makes dogs scared.
And do they mention
That's a bad person.
she went to school with Anita?
Yeah.
Time out though. Like Cruella looks like she's 80.
She got held back a couple grades in college or something.
Her parents paid for her to graduate. That's what happened.
Yeah,
Billy Madison scenario, but gone wrong.
I actually I'll get to it a little bit later, but there are some major differences and some things that were left out of the book leading into the movie that explains a lot more of the stuff. But yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later.
Sick.
Okay.
You got anything else you want to talk about in scene 1?
Honestly, the only thing is just no. Cruella's a cunt. Okay, go.
Well,
Nice.
my friends, it's January. It's the new year. I want to tell you about my resolutions. Number 1, stop spending money. I'm going to get rid of my nanny, and I'm actually going to try to save.
Oh, wow.
Number
Good.
2, I'm going to eat better, and I'm going to cook more often at home. So luckily, our sponsor, Every Plate, America's best value meal kit, is here to help me with both, and you should consider joining me. Every Plate is going to help you save money by delivering affordable meals right to your door so you don't have to spend ungodly amounts of money on delivery, takeout, or eating in restaurants every day. On top of that, they save you time by allowing you to stop making all those timely, time-consuming trips to the grocery store. Time is money. We all know that. And these tasty meals that you pick out ahead of time are easy to make and are ready to be eaten in 6 simple steps. If I can do it, anyone can. You'll never stop patting yourself on the back for being the hero who saves your household money on top of becoming a master chef who makes delicious meals for your family. At first, I was skeptical about meal kits. There's no way that I could actually make these meals and have them taste good. Fast forward to last night, I made a honey sriracha fried chicken dish with a side of ranch seasoned potato wedges and sauteed zucchini. It was one of the best things I've ever had, and I literally made it from scratch from something that showed up in the mail for me from Every Plate. Their directions are easy to follow, and it is such a fun thing. It's been a part of my life now for like 3-4 months. I love doing it. I know you guys do. So please join us. Get a meal for $1.49 plus $1 steaks for life by going to everyplate.com/podcast and entering code 49confused. Subscription must be active to qualify and redeem the $1 steak. Get started with Every Plate for $1.49 per meal plus $1 steaks for life. Everyplate.com/podcast, entering code 49confused. That's a $110 value. Thank you, Every Plate. Let's move on to scene 2. So Perdita delivers a litter of 15 puppies. Cruella shows up shortly afterwards, offering to buy them all, but Roger won't allow it. Time passes, and the puppies grow bigger and enjoy watching TV together. One evening, while Roger and Anita take their dogs for a walk, a pair of bandits named Horace and Jasper break into their house and steal the puppies. Cruella is suspected, but no evidence is found. Do you want to play the game? You want to play let's say this was a modern day live action remake of the Dalmatians.
Okay.
101 Dalmatians. You can pick any actor, actress from any era and insert them in. Who do you think should play Cruella?
Live action.
Yeah, we're talking not just voices, like we're going to actually do this.
I mean, Glenn Close was like
She was good.
just perfect. But
Did you guys, I'll ask you this since we're playing the game, did you guys watch any of the more recent remake, the 96 version or whatever?
That's the one with Glenn Close.
Glenn Close in it.
Jeff Daniels.
Jolie, what's her name?
Jolie.
Jodie Messina.
Yeah, there. Sure. She's also in The Patriot. Great movie. But anyways, I did watch some of it. Very tough to watch, guys.
Yep.
Just since we're saying this. No, I believe Meryl Streep.
That's who you want to play
That's
that?
who I want to be
Judi
Cruella.
Dench.
Wow. I was actually thinking like a younger version to go more with this. What about Margot Robbie?
Okay.
You think she could play it?
Yeah.
What about Helena Bonham Carter?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be good.
Yeah, I mean, we do get caught up in the idea that she is an older woman.
Yeah.
Right.
But she's not. She's friends.
Technically,
they went to
she's
school
not.
together.
Yeah.
She looks older because of the scotch and cigarettes.
Yeah.
The
She
evil.
did.
Yeah, she's definitely got like a Led Zeppelin vibe going on, like she plays in that band. But I do think that even if she was a senior when Anita's a freshman, like there's still a discrepancy here somewhere. I don't know. But no, I think that's great. Helena Bonham Carter,
Yeah.
that would be really solid.
What about Roger and Anita? Who do you want to see as that pair? Because they don't really, to be honest, they don't really have a role in this movie. Like we don't see much of them. They don't really do much. But I want to see them more. I want more of their story intertwined in our live action remake here.
Yeah.
If I think I'm living in a different generation for the casting that I'm going to be presenting here, because my first initial thing was John Hamm.
I knew you were going to go there. I don't know how.
Dude, that's a great pick.
Yeah.
And I think we do this a lot when we do recastings, but I'm going Jake Johnson.
Shit.
Jake
Yes.
Johnson.
Okay.
Jake Johnson would be really, really solid in that. You're right.
Just kind of like where he needs to be animated, like animated acting wise. He needs to do that, but he can remain calm as well. I like that about him.
I'm gonna give you both of them. I'm gonna take two actors from a movie, and I want you to just pull them out of that movie and put them in this. Ryan Gosling, Rachel McAdams from The Notebook.
Okay.
Just take them both out and put them in this story with dogs.
Yeah, you
All
do
right.
put him in there. You know what?
Gosling could play this.
Ryan Gosling is
He could play
that
anything,
different.
obviously, but
Yeah, he is this more recent generation of a Roger. Where
so nice.
I think
Good jawline.
yeah, I think my John Hamm is like I say, that's 15 years ago.
Okay,
You know
okay.
what I mean? Kind
Yeah,
of a vibe. Anyways, and same with like Meryl Streep.
Who are you gonna partner John Hamm with though? Who's his female counterpart?
Ooh, it would be. What is her name? I can't think of it right now. I'll think on it. Sean, you got anything?
I'm gonna go with. She's on the show Yellow Jackets. She plays like the punky girl. She's got like the blonde hair. She might be a little younger
Oh, man.
for Jake Johnson, but people who know what I'm talking about probably know what I'm talking about.
Shoot, I gotta find
I'm gonna go Kate McKinnon for the nanny.
What about Christina Ricci?
Christina Ricci. What?
For the nanny?
No,
Oh,
for what's her face? Anita.
sure.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
You know what? No, Mike. You know what? No. All right. How about Natalie Portman?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would do that.
15 years ago, John Hamm with Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Done deal.
Anita is out of Rogers League regardless. So
Well, and obviously the two guys will be Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern.
obviously.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
that's,
it's got to be.
that's. I figured we would all agree on that.
But I love the fact that we get to flip them around. That Daniel Stern is the
Yes.
is the mind.
Yep, I like
the
it.
brain
I like
of the
it. I
operation.
think people would really enjoy that.
I think that'd be amazing.
I like 15 puppies, right?
Yeah,
Is what they end up having. Could you imagine?
No.
Like
we're gonna keep them.
yeah. My fiance wants another dog now. I'm just like, I will move out.
Yeah.
I will be gone.
It's me or another dog.
Yeah.
They can. Then I'm not in this bed anymore.
Yeah.
like I can't sleep in
That
this
will,
bed anymore.
I won't be able to go anywhere.
Yeah,
This movie kind of glorifies and doesn't really tell you the true tale of like animal ownership.
No,
really,
yeah.
no, not
like
at all.
it doesn't really explain that to you, which is why we all watched this as kids and grew up. And we're like, I want animals.
I want 15
I want a bunch of
Dalmatians.
dogs.
Oh, you can just let them hang out in one room by themselves?
And they just watch TV.
yeah.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh,
Dude.
but it's got to be a dog on TV, of course.
Thunderbolt?
Yeah.
Fuck
yeah.
Oh, dude, I love Thunderbolt.
Yeah.
I love him too. The dogs will love him, obviously.
Do you think like dogs think Thunderbolt is as good as an actor as Jed from The Thing? Like, do you think that they?
Well, they haven't seen The Thing yet.
Well, I'm just saying in the oeuvre of dog
Okay.
cinema,
Right,
Of,
right.
of I am what we call it. I am.
Hi, MDB.
Oh,
was our dog one?
No, it's Barkbox.
Yeah.
Letterbarks.
Letterbarks.
Letterbarks. There it is. Letterbarks. With an X. But I bet they do. I bet they're like, oh, dude.
He
Dude,
seems like a
that
great dog
dude's
actor.
Thunderbolt.
61 Thunderbolt, dude.
Dude, I'm telling you.
He's a good actor.
They tell their kids about like when they see like an old Thunderbolt movie, it's like somebody talking about like an old Clint Eastwood or John Wayne movie.
Yes.
That's what it is. Like John Wayne, oh, back in the day, you should have seen him.
Ain't nobody crossed Thunderbolt.
No. So
The one thing that is interesting to me too that I thought on rewatch here is so like, what's leaving the trail of odor smoke from Cruella? Is it her
I
cigarette?
think it's a cigarette.
Because I always thought it was her breath. Like when I was a kid, I always thought that's what they were referring to.
Yeah.
But then it doesn't make any sense because her cigarette is the one that like leaves this terrible voice smoke trail. But like Roger's smoke pipe is fine.
Yeah.
They never say anything bad about that or show any smoke trails on that.
it's totally different, man.
No way.
Totally different.
You smell pipe smoke?
If you,
That sucks.
there's a difference between
Everybody's got
smoking cigarettes and smoking a pipe. Obviously, we know this because if you smoke a cigarette, it's real bad. But if you smoke a pipe and hold it,
Yeah.
it's sophisticated.
Everyone has a friend who went through a very pretentious phase that's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I smoke pipes now. And everyone, you're picturing them
Do
right
ya?
now. You're picturing it right now. And you're going like, bro, no, you don't do that. You know, I do. I swear. It's super cool. It smells great too, right?
We're gonna go outside for a smoke break, and your friend just like swings open a beef jerky bag full of fucking tobacco.
Long cut, like
Gets that like little fork they have.
he's
Yep.
It takes him 15 minutes to even get
You're like,
one.
dude,
puff.
it's cold out. We're done with our
You're
cigarettes.
done,
Hold on, I just
you're
got to
done
go.
with your smoke break by the time he's getting ready to light it. Like,
Yeah.
because he's got to grind up his long leaf. Like, you're just like, dude, like, give it up. Literally, the next time you saw that person, they've never used a pipe again.
no.
No, and of course, you only see them one time bringing it into public, and they're like, nah.
Because they got shamed so much because it's not 1961 England. That's why. And by the way, it's not the only way you're going to pull that off if it was like a corncob pipe in the backwoods or something.
Yep.
We're not there, bro.
We're not there, bro.
We're just we're in Chicago. We don't do that here.
The animation of the puppies themselves is super adorable, though. Like I can't get over like, especially like the three of them on like the armchair.
yeah.
Like when their tails just wagging, watching Thunderbolt
adorable.
is so fucking awesome.
I'm sorry, I'm just in love with Rolly.
Yeah.
Which one's Rolly?
He's the fat one.
He's the bad one. Hungry.
I'm hungry.
I mean, Lucky's the best. Everybody knows Lucky's the best.
well,
dog.
he's the luckiest.
I like it's not Spot, but what is it? It's
Patch.
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 Patch is great.
Oh, he's got the angst. You know.
They
Yeah,
only-
we've got Patch. We've got Lucky, Rolly,
Penny.
Freckles, Penny,
Pepper,
Pepper,
Freckles.
Freckles, 7, 8, 9, 10,
question
11.
mark, question mark.
How many more?
We don't. It doesn't really matter.
Who are you?
There's only 6 named in this movie. They said other incarnations. There's live action film, TV series reveals 6 other names: Whizzer, Dipstick, Two Tone, Cadpig, Fidget, and Jewel, which still leaves 3 out.
So
Yeah,
they just-
the last 3 are named God fucking and damn it.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
They just ran out of name ideas, and it was like Cod Stick,
Fart Box.
Fickleberk.
Fickleberg.
It was
Yeah.
like you're just burping, and those are your names.
You're just burping.
Maldation. We're just out. We ran out of names.
We can't do it anymore.
There's no more dog names that exist.
Canine Crunchies. Give me that punchable face.
Oh, you want a punchable face here?
If we were on a train to go punch a face, I'm on board.
I believe it was George Bruns who wrote this song, and I loved all the other music in this movie, but I hated this, and I want to punch George Bruns.
Oh, wow.
There's like a shoulder. There's like a hey.
Hey.
Hey,
Don't-
man, why'd you do that?
Don't do any of that.
What are you
okay?
doing?
You did so good before.
Okay.
Stop. So that's my punchable face.
I mean, I can't imagine punching anyone else other than Cruella at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
She never really gets hers, if you think about it.
Yeah. No, I think mine is the criminal on What's My Crime.
Oh,
Nice.
Next on What's My Crime.
Mr. Percival Fontswater.
Yeah. Yep.
I would watch What's My Crime.
Oh,
by the way.
totally.
That'd be a
We
fucking great
totally
show.
watch that. Like, we would make it a point on Sunday evenings. Like, you're just like, oh, get back for there's The Voice, and then What's My Crime?
We got a hard out for our podcast. We need to watch the next episode of What's My Crime.
We're doing a live watch on our Discord for What's My Crime tonight.
What do you think his crime was, though?
Oh, it was definitely like public masturbation.
Yeah, he it's something like that where he like smelled people too much.
Okay, well,
Like he would go up behind people and just like and then weird people out.
And then they'd just be like, "What? Is that a candy bar in your pocket?" Or
Yeah,
what are
they
you
turn
doing?"
around, his cock's out. Yeah.
He's a flasher.
They say here's the clues you got. It wasn't a burglary. It was of violent intent, though.
Oh, okay.
He didn't kill anyone, and he didn't violate a city ordinance.
Okay, so public masturbation's out then, or
So, well,
Not necessarily.
well, I guess that's violent intent.
is that a
depending-
city ordinance? You think?
I think
There's
that's a
some
city ordinance.
violent intent on himself, depending on how he's doing it.
Hey,
Hey-o, zinger.
I don't know what it was.
Well, okay,
No
so we didn't get it. They still had like 7 or 8 more questions for the guy.
Yep.
You know, we didn't have enough time to figure out What's My Crime.
It's very true.
So-
well, why don't we stick with it?
Ooh, here's a prop.
It's kind of hard to pick an animated prop, right? But we're going to assume that this is real life, and you can take something from the movie, and it is a physical, real life object.
We are employing the Roger Rabbit rule.
Yes.
So we can take it out. and
Yes,
have
we
it.
can go into Toontown and pull it out
Yeah.
and have it. I want Cruella's phone, her red devil phone. I want that on our shelf.
Yeah. Ooh, that'd be good.
And apparently, I only read this after I didn't get a chance to rewatch, but I heard the devil face on the phone changes, like depending on what Cruella's mood is. And when she's talking on the phone, like the face either smiles or gets really mad. Yeah, kind of a creepy little devil phone. there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want it.
I'm gonna go Roger's piano.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's quite a. That's gonna be tough to get down those stairs.
Yeah. Well.
Well, I think I really want. You know what? No, I want Roger's pipe.
Ooh,
Not
you
so I
want to
can-
be the guy?
Yeah, I don't know. Not so I can smoke it. I just don't want anyone else to. That's it. Like that's it.
All right, cool.
So
Cool.
So
Good
and
move,
I'll,
man.
I'll-
Thanks, bro.
I'm doing everybody. Yeah, you got it, man.
Subtle way to get Roger to stop smoking.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I care about Roger.
I don't know how you landed Anita with that thing on front, but okay.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to scene 3. So during a walk, Pongo sends a request for help to all the dogs throughout England. In the town of Suffolk, an old dog named Colonel, a cat named Sergeant Tibbs, and a horse named Captain hear the news and suspect that the Dalmatians may be at the nearby abandoned De Vil house. Tibbs is sent to investigate, where he finds 99 Dalmatian puppies being guarded by Horace and Jasper. Tibbs relays what he knows to Colonel, and Pongo and Perdita are alerted.
Can I say something? I don't mean to go back, guys, but I just reread, Perdita delivers the litter of 15 puppies, and I have to say this, leave it to fucking Walt Disney to have, bad expectations of physique and body. Perdita just comes out of that like an absolute supermodel.
Nothing's changed on her.
Oh
at all.
man, looks like Gal Gadot just walked out of fucking having 15 pups. Like, what the hell is going on, guys? That's unrealistic. It's unreasonable.
The Disney vacation.
Yeah, the
like,
Disney vacation.
Humans can't
Tiny
live up to
waists
this.
And just massive dicks.
Yeah.
They're all what? So, anyways, during their walk, right?
Yeah,
The
of course,
Twilight
yes.
Bach.
Twilight
The
Bach.
Twilight Bach. It's the Twilight Bach. What do you guys think of the Twilight Bach?
Love
Is this genius?
I love the world building that these dogs are all on a team, or like animals in general are like all on a team. And I love especially what's the cat's name? The
Tibbs?
Sergeant Tibbs, bro.
It's like he's the MVP of this movie.
I think so.
I mean, you got a million dogs in this movie, but yeah, it turns out the cat is the real hero.
Yeah.
Cats are heroes.
They were definitely 1996. There was definitely something against cats because they recast that as a dog. They're like, cats suck.
Wait, they did?
Yeah, the
In the actual
the Tibbs character in the 1996 one
on.
was a dog.
Yeah, get out
Yeah,
of here.
I
Get
know.
out of here with that bullshit.
But you're right, and I think my favorite character is the captain, the horse.
yeah,
yeah,
horse.
I
is pretty
love
awesome.
the horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's super cool. And then you've got Colonel, who's just like, I don't know why you still exist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why is this a thing?
Why are we're still living by this ranking system, huh?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Who's the Basset Hound? Is that like the
Towser.
Towser?
Towser.
Why do I feel like
Towser.
if you have a dog movie where voices, they're going to be doing human voices, that Basset Hounds always have to be played by Wilford Brimley.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
There's
totally.
no way, like he has to come in,
When he does that, like
Yeah.
I used to do that as a kid all the time, and like nobody knew what the hell I was doing. They just thought I had a I was touched, but it's fine. I was doing it with Dalmatian. That I was, reciting 101 Dalmatians. So, but Towser,
You're touched.
we still haven't figured it out. No, but between all these animals and stuff, I don't know. The duck is another thing. All these animals can communicate with each other, but I feel like there are points where there are like birds and stuff that also should be communicating with, like, why not just talk to a bird?
Nah, that's totally different.
Like, we could just, hey, oh crap, we're in London. There's like literally 9,000 pigeons that could carry a message.
Nah.
You know what I mean?
Nobody cares about birds.
Oh, come on.
But I do. I want to really believe. I watched this movie and I'm like, oh, Twilight Bark.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's real. Like, what if that really happens? What if all the dogs outside, when they're barking, they're just talking to each other?
What's he saying? Boy?
What's he saying? Oh, that's bullshit. All the dogs in my neighborhood just literally fucking bark at nothing. They bark at air. They bark at nothing.
What's in the air?
They just fucking bark. Dogs
Trying
do
to
not.
warn you about something.
No, they're not. They're just barking because their owners thought it would be cool to get a dog, and then they're like, actually, we don't like having a dog, so we're just going to leave the dog outside all the time.
Dude, what if it's just like a gossip, like, because they call it a gossip chain.
Mm-hmm.
So what if it's just like tabloid news that they're barking about, and it's the worst game of telephone ever that just keeps on going like that, like, or maybe it's like by the time it actually gets to Towser, it's just like 15 pud pullers are fudge packers are hanging out in a circle naked, and that's just what it is. But then what if it's like that and it's all just fart jokes?
It's the dogs.
Dogs are just like talking about their farts.
Be awesome.
It's the dog's version of a HOA, and they are on the Facebook
They got the
page, and they're
Facebook
like, "Did you guys hear a big noise? I just heard a noise just now."
Did anybody? Hey, what's going on with those cars parked at the end of the street in the cul-de-sac?
Somebody left their keys in the mailbox.
Yeah.
Well,
why
Rob
are you
will-
checking people's mailboxes?
Rob will chase that car, and he checked it out. There was nothing.
So you're saying dogs barking in a neighborhood is the original Facebook message group?
It's gotta be.
Okay. All right. Cool.
It's gotta be.
That's amazing.
I love that, to be honest.
Dog
Did,
HOA.
did anybody else's internet go out?
My pet said that their internet went out.
Yeah.
They were trying to watch Criminal Minds, one of our favorite shows.
Do you guys know when the snow plows are coming through again?
I hate those.
How come they leave snow in my driveway when they plow the street?
Who's the mysterious man that keeps putting things inside of boxes outside the houses every single day? Has anybody gotten a read on this guy yet? I don't know who. The mailman? Are you fucking kidding?
Did anybody else eat the pile of goo that was outside of 987? I did. I don't feel so good right now.
Dogs. We moved into dogs. I get it.
Post Thanksgiving meals. Anybody want to get together? You know, that kind of thing. Let's throw up for each other.
Did you catch the little cameo though during the
Yeah,
Twilight Bark?
that's awesome.
That's I never noticed that as a kid. You got Lady and the Tramp very briefly as the camera pans the street. They're just hanging out in the street, kind of participating.
Several characters
Yeah,
from it.
yeah,
too.
a couple more from Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I think like the fucking rat tail or whatever that has like that.
The machine gun bark.
Yeah, I think that's one of the characters
Yep.
from it. And then
You think he's the one that barks in the drain pipe or something like that?
yeah, and then the bulldog in the window is also another
Yeah.
character in Lady and the Tramp.
Pretty nice little cameo
Kind of fun.
there. Yeah.
Kind of fun.
That's fun.
Tarantino verse of Disney. You know,
I do have a couple more facts for you, though, about Cruella from the book. The difference of her in the book versus the movie. In the book, they talk more about how her grandfather was the owner of the De Vil mansion and that he was a serial killer and that people in town would hear cries coming from the mansion at night and like how everyone in town would always have to like basically lock up their kids if he was ever around.
Good God.
Yeah, then there were also implications that her ancestor was the fucking devil. They said he had a tail and supernatural powers. When they came to Hell Hall to confront the supposed murderer, burn down his farmhouse, a terrific thunderstorm came out of nowhere, extinguished their torches. Then the man emerged from the home with bolts of blue forked lightning coming from his body. The villagers ran away terrified, and the alleged demon was never seen again. Obviously, I never picked up on this as a kid, but De Vil is devil.
I know.
Cruella stands for cruel in like Italian or something like that. So also in
We
the
were
novel,
so stupid as kids.
oh yeah, De Vil. And you're like, I'm not going to spell that.
I know.
In the novel, Cruella has a white Persian cat she keeps for its value, but generally seems to abuse the pet along with all other four-legged victims. Specifically, Cruella boasts that each time that her cat gets pregnant, she drowns one of the kittens she drowns every kitten one by one. Her kitten body count in the book is 44. She's killed 44 cats in the book. When Cruella decides to kill off the puppies earlier than anticipated in the novel, her henchmen are unsure how to approach the task, so she suggests locking the pups in a room without food so they'd be forced to eat each other.
How does that help your fur coat?
That's what I'm saying.
it's like okay, so like Stephen King.
I'm more concerned about other things, but I just, from
Stephen
her
King wrote
perspective.
it, and he has that one scene in it where it's the sex scene or whatever that they all do to the one girl, and like it's kind of like this. I imagine like Bill Pete adapting her book into a screenplay and being like, okay, so I rewrote it. I took out a lot of things. I just hope you're okay with it. And she's like, I was out of my mind on opiates when I wrote that, and so I wrote a bunch about like killing kittens and devils and stuff. I didn't know what I was thinking. Thank you for improving it.
Yeah.
my
She
children's
does say that, doesn't
story.
she?
Yeah,
She's like, yeah, they improved it.
Thanks for literally fixing my story.
Yeah.
That's because that's what you did. And like so hey, we got this great story. It's called 101 Dalmatians. Oh, that sounds fun. We could make a kid story of that. Oh, wait. So it's like, well, here's the initial book. So go ahead, take that home, get some inspiration. We'll get some drawings going, stuff like that. He comes back. He's like, this is not for children. Walt Disney read this. Did you take it to him? He's like, oh yeah, he loved it. He loved that book.
No, actually, that checks out.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
He wanted a little bit like more adult, like penis and vagina stuff, but it's fine. You know?
But you just
We'll hide
just
that.
thinking-
We'll hide that somewhere in there.
It's like, yeah. Oh, well, what parts are brought up into question? Well, the kitten drowning. That's kind of, it's kind of out there. It's like, yeah, we could skirt around that. Yeah, we can skirt around it by not including it. How about that? This is psychotic behavior.
It's still, the whole thing's still psychotic. Like we're arriving in this. They're implying that they're gonna kill every one of these puppies and skin them and pull their skin off.
So
in a kids movie.
And just an FYI, but back in my day, we didn't have these video games to melt our brain. We just had 101 Dalmatians the book to just promote animal cruelty.
I do want to see like the prequel that her father is a serial killer.
Okay, dude, wouldn't that be fucking
I want
awesome?
to see that really bad. Like just in that town, it seems like get Batman Tim Burton to do this movie and cast all his Burton
I'd be into
people
that.
and do DeVille's father, whatever.
Just a Danny
DeVille
Elfman
Senior.
score.
Yeah,
Yeah.
DeVille Senior.
yeah, I love it. I want that.
Devil Senior.
Oh man.
Well, let's
Sounds
move on
terrifying.
to scene 4. Cruella arrives and instructs Horace and Jasper to kill the dogs and skin them. Before they can, Tibbs rescues all of them after a crazy chase through the mansion. Pongo and Perdita arrive and begin to guide all the puppies back home to London. It's a long trek, and they make a stop at an old dairy barn while avoiding Cruella and her henchmen. I mean, we already talked about Tibbs being the hero here. Tibbs risks his life. I mean, he does have 9 lives, but he risks at least one of them.
Yeah.
Trying to save these stupid dogs that don't even know that they're in trouble at this point.
Yeah.
So we know Tibbs is the hero, but this begins my really long journey of like anxiety watching this movie. My wife even mentioned it. The idea of this chase scene and then everyone escaping the house and then everyone going on this long journey. There's no fucking way you could possibly keep track of all 99 of them.
Yeah,
They're not going to all make it.
No.
And it like I get really anxious watching the end of this movie.
We've all seen like YouTube videos of like 7 ducklings trying to cross a highway and they fall down a gutter.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to make it.
No.
All right. There's no way that all these animals are competent, if you will. By the way, we now see all 99 puppies, and Cruella De Vil went out and just like scoured all the pet shops and bought them all legally, technically.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not saying what she's doing is justified, but she couldn't just go out and find 15 more that she needed instead of like, oh no, I'm literally going to commit like,
Sorry, the 74 is
major
all we have
crime.
in town.
oh,
I
shoot,
need these ones from the people that I know.
that I know who know that I want them for weird reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a better option.
Well, and like I agree with you that it is like kind of an anxiety-inducing segment too, because we're like there's 99 dogs or 99 puppies, I guess, and then like what if one gets lost or something? Because then I also worry about the hungry one, and I'm like, he will do anything.
This is about to become Lord of the Flies.
Yeah, like it's really good that they got to the fucking cow barn or whatever to get fed, because I'm not so sure about him, because all he said was, "Mom, I'm hungry,"
Yeah.
until he's not hungry.
It's the only line he had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have turned into, Mom, I'm hungry. I fucking told you I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Mom, I'm not hungry anymore.
Oh my God.
Don't worry about me.
I was so hungry, I ended up eating the one that they called Sprinkles. Like,
Don't worry, I ate
shouldn't have
one that
called
didn't have a name.
yeah, I ate one without a collar. So
It wasn't
I-
lucky.
So I didn't choke on it. Like,
Patches is
Jeez.
cute. We all love Patches.
oh, I love patches. Oh man.
Did you hear too that the scene where the puppies are in the dairy barn and they're suckling on the cow's teats?
Yeah.
At
Can
the
you
time
say that one more time and
suckling,
kind of draw it out a little bit?
Suckling on the cow's teats.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good.
At the time of its release, it was deemed inappropriate for a children's film, and there were protests about this scene.
Look,
Oh
man,
my God.
free the nipple. All right.
Yeah.
Just let it be.
Let it hang. Let it get sucked.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's fine.
You know, it also brought me to the point where, human beings are the only species that drinks another species' milk. So it's kind of weird that these dogs would want to drink the milk of another species like humans. We're the only ones that do that.
Well, it's also weird that us as humans are the only ones who necessarily drink other animals' milk, are upset that another animal is drinking another animal's milk.
Yeah.
Boy, it doesn't really stack up for an argument.
It's just like they're. I feel like it's just like they're repressed. It's they're uncomfortable with the thoughts that it gives them. Personally.
Oh yeah.
Because they're like, oh, a hanging phallic thing that they're sucking on makes me think of something. Oh, I see what's going on. Like, it's like, that's not what's going on. That's where your perverted head goes.
Wait a second.
And
I filled in the blanks.
yeah, you're offended by your own thoughts, you fucking idiot.
Oh, no, but it would have been a lot better if it just would have been like some leftovers from the milk truck that drove through earlier
Totally
that
different.
day.
Yeah.
And we've knocked over the bottles, and now you can
That came
drink
straight
them.
from the cow.
That came straight from the cow that we're sitting next
we
to.
can delete the tits.
What if we say, oh, do they like warm milk? We just had it expressed earlier this morning.
It's in a
like,
saucer.
what? It's in a saucer. Yeah.
Oh.
Let us pour it out for you.
If
Yeah,
they
messed
were
up,
mad
dude.
about this in 1961, 62, wait till Woodstock comes
Dude.
around.
Your
Wait till the free love movement.
Your
and just
kids are
titties
fucked.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
wait
man.
till that.
Yeah.
Wait till your
Just-
daughter starts sucking cocks left
Oh
and right.
wow.
They're doing it.
Oh wow.
They're doing it.
I was gonna actually imply that maybe we try to make this like we try to be very G-rated on this because the movie is.
Yeah.
And then I was like, why would we do that?
Why would we do that?
Why would we allow
I don't
that?
think we could we could try. I don't think we could even try to do
Did you
that.
see how that one cow, how big the fucking udder was?
Yeah, dude. Looking pretty
They
good.
needed to get milked, am I right?
Oh
Yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah. Look at those udders.
We could do a family friendly version, but just like cut out this part, or just like leave put like bars over our mouths in the audio. And
I truly am more disturbed by the person who's
I know.
upset about
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
oh, the udder. It's like, what are your thoughts about these udders that are making it so bad for you? It's a cow. We
what I'm
milk
saying.
the cows. Like, this is what happens. The fact that you're disturbed by it is more disturbing. It's so backwards, man. Oh, jeez. The collie, I think the collie might be my most lovable face of this whole thing, though.
You think so?
Yeah, he's like that.
is that the one that where he gets them out from
Pongo.
like
he gets them to the
he
dairy
gets
barn.
him to the dairy.
Okay,
He gets them to the dairy barn. gives
he's
them
not the
scraps.
Labrador that.
No,
No,
Labrador's
no.
coming up.
Labrador's coming up. Yeah, the collie is and was actually voiced by the same guy who did the "What's My Crime"
Nice.
host
all right.
as well. Same again. Like you're such a stupid kid. Like you just don't recognize these things ever.
No.
Whether they're obvious or not. I'm not saying it is, but anyways. But he's my most lovable face. I think that collie is
really.
Yeah, I think so. I think that dog's pretty lit, dude.
I think mine's whatever puppy ends up being the one that basically lays down and goes, "That's it for me," in the snow.
Oh, lucky.
Is that lucky?
That's lucky.
Like, I feel so sad for that puppy.
You want to go adopt that puppy.
Yeah, and then when they all have to turn around,
Yeah.
and now they're going back into the wind, and they're going,
Yeah.
like, I mean, that's how I was last night shoveling my driveway.
I
Just
know.
going,
I know.
It is -9 degrees here in Iowa, by the way. and-
I gave
So
up.
I
after
felt
the,
that.
I gave up after the third time in one day.
Yep.
It was really rough. It's now up to my chest on the sides of my driveway.
Nice.
Covers your tits.
Yeah. But not the cow tits.
Nope.
Ew.
Can't be thinking about that.
Oh man, don't
Can't
think
be
about
thinking
that. That's different white stuff. The other, I know, right? We're just trying to tie it together, guys. But when they are turning around and stuff, careful. They are turning around, and you see those puppies like turning into the wind.
So sad.
It's really, really sad. And Pongo sits down Lucky for a moment. He's like, "Hey, collie, like just keep an eye on him. He's about to literally freeze to death." He runs up. He's like, Purdy, this way. And he comes back, and the collie left him alone. And he's just like, "You just left him again? Like,
He was
dude,
going to die.
He's going to die. Will you wrap him in your furry bosom, please?" God.
And that actually does call up into effect. Like, I don't feel like Dalmatians have very short fur.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't going to make for a good fur coat here.
Yeah.
No.
You got to pick like golden retrievers and Labradors and stuff like that.
Maybe
like,
it's just the look of it.
It must,
Okay.
Well,
The look.
it's winter right now. She's preparing for her spring line.
That's right. Yeah.
oh, gotcha. These are light spring jackets.
We're looking for light spring jackets. At
I
this
want to wear
point.
fur, but in the spring.
You want something like a Dalmatian or a Vizsla.
Ooh, yeah.
Something like that.
Or a chinchilla.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, boys, you want to move on to the final scene? This
Let's
is
do
scene
it.
5. The next day, a Labrador shows them a moving truck that they can hitch a ride on. They hide from Cruella by covering themselves in soot to look like Labradors. Cruella chases them and is run off the road after a long chase. Pongo, Perdita, and all 99 puppies arrive home. Roger's overjoyed and, much to Anita's worry, decides to keep them all with plans to move to the country and start a Dalmatian plantation imagination extravaganza.
Okay, we'll get to that.
That doesn't rhyme.
I do like they in the documentary that I watched, they brought up how they did like the cars moving, and so they pretty much like, and I still don't
It
fully
doesn't make
grasp
any
it,
sense.
but they basically made like these full models of these cars, like tangible models in real life, not animation.
Oh.
and
They traced them?
yeah, like almost like 3D printed them. Like nowadays, it was what they would
Okay.
do. But they built them and they put them on these like black like pieces of felt, and they would pull the felt and make the wheels move. And so they just kind of did that, and then like put the animation cells over that, pretty much.
Weird.
And so like that brings me to also the backgrounds of all of the whole movie, because anything moving is like obviously an animation. Anything that's kind of stagnant and static, just sitting there, is like a painting. Is like all like a matte
Right.
painting that someone did. A lot of people did.
Big one, right?
Huge.
Yeah.
And so yeah, they would just put those cells over that. It's just like the art there's so much art, literally just like painting and drawing and animating in this whole hour and 21-minute movie.
Yep.
It's staggering.
I read it was like 6 million frames. Or
It's
it was like 6
crazy.
million cells were drawn.
It
for
was
this.
It was a crazy amount of drawing. And by the way, you have to think about the easiest thing to overlook in this is right in the title. They are drawing also Dalmatians.
Yeah.
They have to draw those spots every single frame.
Jesus.
Like I said, they had a
Every
whole
single-
crew
yeah.
just for spots.
Exactly, and I think that somebody ended up counting that. So it was something about the spots too. They ended up counting how many spots there were, and like on average in a frame there was like 100 and some spots on average.
Insane.
And like for them to have to constantly be redoing that and working their way through not to miss something, because you don't. It's something that you would notice if it happened, if they missed something.
Yep.
And yeah, it was an average of like 15 spots a dog for the puppies, and I think it was like double that for the adult dogs.
Well, that's the beauty of it, is that you'd see those frames where there were a lot of dogs in it, and they were all the exact same dog.
Yeah.
Xeroxed copy.
Yeah.
They looked the exact same, but then that's the genius of it, because they're Dalmatians. Change the spots around.
Yeah.
And it's a different dog. Even though the outline of that dog is the exact same as the one next to it, change the spots, good. It's a different dog.
Except for maybe the chubby one.
yeah, you always know which that one is.
Hey, there's always a chubby one.
Come on, fat boy. Let's go. You know,
They didn't want them to be like all the way white too, because they wanted them,
yeah.
because it was going to be in the snow, a lot of it. They didn't want them to not show up on screen, so they're like an off, maybe eggshell white.
Ooh,
So
an
what would you
eggshell.
say?
Yeah,
Something
a
like
soft
that?
eggshell.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something like that.
absolutely. No, that's true. But they had to use like they said that they used like, oh man, how many gallons of ink? It's like like tons. Literally, I say that literally, tons of ink to draw these dogs and draw the sets and put everything together, that it would show up the right way, that they want the dogs to show up against the backgrounds. And I just think this is a movie, again, that what you're saying, Sean, the art of what they did gets overlooked so easily because, well, we just want a cartoon, like cartoons, like now it's all digital. Who cares? We just get cartoons, but back then they had to draw every single thing, every spot, make sure it lined up the right way. And I think that adds so much charm to the animation. There are times that you can see the guidelines of these things on the dogs, and that it put a lot of people off. I don't think Walt Disney was actually even very pleased with a lot of the animation to a certain degree until they got to a certain point of production.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were put off by this because it was very much a far cry from what you were talking about before,
Right.
Sleeping Beauty and Snow
They
White.
painted every single one.
Every single frame.
Yep.
And And they were very much put off by it until it finally was a success.
But if there's one thing that Walt Disney likes more than great art, it's money.
If he likes something more than
gimme.
Yeah,
color green is better than any other color you could draw.
It's better than the color white. That's what he's saying.
Because that man loves two things: money and inappropriate sex jokes in kids' movies.
Man.
He fucking loves that shit.
Hilarious. To
Man,
him.
gotta love Walt Disney. praise the Lord, Walt Disney.
Praise be.
R.I.P.
No. And
You like Walt Disney?
I don't know. I don't care about him.
well,
I just know we're gonna get a lot of comments, which is fine.
Good.
Which is fine.
Well, tell me Walt Disney wasn't a pervert.
You're a liberal.
not my Walt Disney.
No. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm just all I know is as I was a kid, people be like, "Look, if you pause in The Lion King, the leaves make a dick."
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's true or not, but it seemed like a lot of coincidences.
Turns out he was on Epstein's flight logs. Oh no.
Walt Disney and Tom Hanks, you stupid idiot liberals.
Yeah, he used Dumbo to get over there to the island. Oh God.
Listen, we've never said anything about politics. We're just talking about movies.
It's all we're talking about, okay?
So the cars look cool.
The cars do look cool. And by the way, I do want to say before we get to another specific part here, we haven't talked a ton about like Jasper and Horace, necessarily. But I think they're a great driving force, and I think they're actually very funny.
Yeah.
And I think that their interactions with each other are funny. And Horace is just like, I'm fucking done with this, dude. This is stupid. I'm done. Like we're in an open air car and it's negative 11 degrees. I am done. I am not dressed for this. I'm too poor to afford a real good jacket. Like, I'm done, bro. And then Cruella is just like, no, I'm going to threaten you with my skin and bones.
Cruella's like, I'm
dude,
going to make 6 of these coats. You can have one.
you could have one for springtime.
You guys are gonna look so good.
It's so good, dude. And like that is a big problem. Like when they are just hanging out in the house, like he's just drinking.
I
he's
like
just
this a
eating
lot.
Pretty good.
sandwiches.
It's like a haunted house almost. It seems. It's like a
Yeah.
Scooby Doo set.
Dude,
almost.
it's definitely a Scooby-Doo set. That is
Totally
awesome.
Yes, that's a great way to put it. And they're just unbothered by it
Yeah.
for the most part. I mean, they're the scariest thing in this
They
house.
live in the devil's house.
Yes.
They're hanging out there.
And I don't know, like they are such a driving force to a lot of the anxiety, even though we know they're bumbling idiots, which I think is kind of creative in some character development.
Yep.
Like they are the ones causing a lot of anxiety just by accident almost.
Yeah.
Because they stumble along it. And I love that it's like, as we're even getting to this part where it's like, hey, Jasper, you don't suppose they're disguising themselves?
Yeah,
It's
I'm
like,
like, oh,
you know
no.
what? That's exactly what they did. You idiot.
You
know
stu-
that.
yeah.
It's
I
really
was like,
funny.
oh, they figured it out. Oh no, they didn't.
That's like,
'Cause
oh,
they're
thank
idiots.
God. But anyway, it does bring me to my next point. How do you guys feel about dogs doing blackface?
I think it's okay when the animals do it because it's not like they're not
'Cause it's
choosing.
adorable?
Yeah, yeah.
What's wrong with you?
They're not.
It was the 60s.
They're not
It
trying.
was a different time.
they're
Trading
not tr-
places.
They don't
It's
know
totally
they're
different.
they're innocent. Always have to.
Dogs are innocent.
They're all.
Until they perform blackface, and like, but hey, you
It's
know
the
what?
parents' fault.
Hey, you know what? The other black dog was okay with it too, though. So he was in on the joke.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
like-
kind of like trading it up. It's like, he's like, hey, dude, that's my guy right there. It's cool. I know Pongo. We go way back, dude. I'll let him do blackface.
a lot of my friends are Pongo.
Are black Labradors.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. Thanks a lot, AJ.
You're welcome.
Thanks for bringing that into my brain.
And then there's, he's hanging out like, well, every now and again we go down, we hang out with the chocolate Labradors, that kind of thing, the golden ones.
Yeah.
That's just what these white dogs do. And
Just appropriate.
Yeah, you know how Cruella didn't want any of the black dogs.
Keep
yeah,
going.
super
She
weird.
only
Keep
wanted
going.
the white
Well,
dogs.
Yeah.
He only wanted the white ones with this little. Never mind.
God damn it. Who would have thought of all the episodes we did that 101 Dalmatians was going to be the one?
To bring up blackface?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Oh, sorry.
Oh, thanks, man.
Sorry. Well, it's just weird, okay? And I think it was strange, and I wanted it to be known that Walt Disney is a sick man.
There you go. I want to say something so bad right now.
No, don't do it. Or actually, just do it. We'll
Bring
edit
it in, bro.
We'll edit it out. We'll bleep this whole
yeah,
thing out. Okay. Yeah, we'll take the whole thing out. Never mind.
Oh,
Yeah, right.
man.
And no bleep, Sean. We're taking the whole thing
I
out.
tried to be like, oh, how can I not do it? But
I mean, technically, Pongo's judging people right from the get-go of this movie. Let's
Yeah,
be real,
it's
guys.
true, you know. Yeah.
No, that one's too fat. That one's too old. That one's super fucking hot. Way out of our
You
league.
can just tell she's a bitch.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Uh.
That one's safe. We can keep that one.
High maintenance.
Get out of here. Get out of here. You broke AJ. You broke him. He's broken.
It's like, fuck them bitches.
I think that's it for us. I don't even think we want to talk about Dalmatian plantations or anything. at this
we
point.
can't. We definitely can't talk about that. We can't get into any of that. That's something I know. Oh boy.
All right, we're done. Yeah. All right, everybody. It's good having you here. We're not even going to give it a modern day rating. We're just gonna.
You should.
They're so excited to start a plantation. He's talking about it.
It brought us a tune to our heart. Thinking about it.
Hey man, separate the art from the artist, all right?
All right. I never thought that would have happened in 101 Dalmatians, but we're here.
What's my crime is on? Let's get out of here.
We're here, and we're going to give it a modern day rating. We're going to skip AJ. We're going to go right to Sean on this one. Let AJ compose himself. What was your modern day rating of this movie there, Sean?
I think this movie's fun. I think it's adorable. I can't wait to show it to my kids.
Yeah.
I watched it with my dogs. They liked it. I liked watching them watch parts of it. Yeah, and like I said, it's it's hard to strip away the nostalgia for this because it is the first movie I ever saw in a movie theater. But yeah, it's a good, fun Disney movie. It's cute. I can't see myself watching it, just like popping it on to enjoy it. But it's fine. What did the audience rate it? It was like a 7.something, 7.3.
7.3 is
I'm
what
gonna
the
go.
audience felt.
I'm right along with them, about 7.2.
7.2. AJ, what about you, man?
I'll tell you what, all the things that we just talked about, they still can't take away, how special this movie is. I do think that once Harrison turns 2, that I'm not going to be showing him any Disney movies because I'm confident that Disney movies are the thing that fucked me up in my childhood. Mustafa falling away, or Mufasa, whatever. Mufasa falling away and just dying. What?
What? It's not funny.
It's not funny, okay? Cruella De Vil literally trying to skin baby puppies.
It's kind of fucked up.
This is the most terrifying world to live in this ethos, guys. So that being said, it is. I think that this has all the elements of like what a good movie would be, like a lot of like heartfelt moments, but also like a lot of anxiety, like you're talking about, Mike. There was a point where this is like an anxiety ride, you know, for watching these dogs go through what they do. And, you know, you feel a very great connection to a lot of the characters too, even the ones that kind of, you know, pass us by on their journey home. That all being said, I still think it's a great movie. I gave this a 9.101, right? Nostalgically.
Yes, you did.
Obviously, as an adult, you don't see these movies the same way, and there can be a little bit of a chore getting through them when you're a grown up. That being said, I still think it's a great movie, and you got to talk about it being from 1961, still being watched to this day. I think that certainly merits being an 8.05.
Nice.
8.05. I think this is so hard to rate because it's our first animation. It's our oldest movie we've done. I like to give a lot of relevance to will I watch this movie again? That's a lot of how I rate this. And like, I'm never going to purposely put this movie on again. I'm excited to maybe let Willow watch it and watch it with her, but I will never on purpose be like, man, I'm caught up on everything I want to watch. Let's put in 101 Dalmatians. Let's watch it.
It's time.
And that's the tough part for me. And again, it's kind of like the musicals, like Little Shop of Horror. Like I'm just not really like an animation guy, especially when we have what we have now. Yeah. You're like, it's really hard to almost go back and watch some of this and just be like, yeah. But I respect everything it did at the time. I kind of had to find a movie that I wanted to compare this to that we've done, something that came close to it.
Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, even then, I picked Willy Wonka for some reason. I just felt like that
checks out. That
was the best way to compare it, and I don't think it was as good as Willy Wonka was. So I've got to go a little less than that. I'm actually going to be a 5.05 on this.
Fair.
Like I appreciate everything it is, but I just, as an overall movie, it's like, that's not really for me.
We didn't actually talk about the fact that there isn't much musical element to
No.
it. You know, a lot of these movies at the time had like songs here, like almost throughout the whole movie, and this one was like one of the first ones that almost had just all dialogue.
Yeah,
which is cool about it.
It would be almost strange to me seeing these dogs doing the singing after they're doing so much talking. I don't know. That's interesting. Yeah.
And that's going to give it, as our group modern day rating, a 6.77, which interestingly enough will pop that into the 101th spot.
No shit.
Yes.
You got to be fisting me.
101th
Get
spot,
out.
my friends. And that is just barely above Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Swear to God, we did not.
Did you do
plan
that on purpose?
No.
That's amazing. This is fucking awesome.
That's crazy.
In fact,
we're really good at this.
We're really fucking good at this.
We are so good at this.
So I just want to let you know that's if you made it this far, you had a really good second half to this whole show.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna throw it out.
You got
there.
what you came for eventually.
Man. Yeah, the second act was great. Third act, yeah.
Well, we hope you enjoyed the episode. Thanks for being here. Tune in next week. We discuss 2000's Road Trip, and then we move on to Heathers. So please get ready for that. And if you're new to the podcast, go back this time last year. Goodfellas
Come on.
was our movie, and I thought we had a lot of fun with that one. That was a good episode. So go check that bad boy out. And there's one other thing I wanted to mention. A lot of times, I don't know if you guys get this, people will text me and be like, oh man, you really got to do Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Or man, I hope you do Speed someday. It's like, we've done so many movies by now that if you go to confusedbreakfast.com, you can look at our ratings there. That's one of the best ways to see what movies we've done.
Yeah.
Not just to see our ratings, but just go, oh, wow, they've done that. And then you can search it on our app or on YouTube and watch it there. So I just want to remind people of that.
Yeah, most definitely. Guys, thank you for joining us through our first soiree through the Disney world of movies, animated movies. We really appreciate you listening. We appreciate you guys leaving us a rating, 5 stars wherever you are, and write us a review if you're on Apple Podcasts. Social media, find us there at Confused Breakfast. Just search for Confused Breakfast, guys. I'm sure you're going to see some great clips coming from this on our social media. And please, make sure you check us out on YouTube. We've got it again, the new studio. We're in the thick of it in our new home. Check it out there, guys.
Humble abode.
Yeah, baby. Go to confusedbreakfast.com as well to see the merch that we have. You can get some shirts to put on your back. You can get some koozies at Not Your Father's Beer Shirts at his Instagram. Go check that out. Cool off your drinks. You can go to the same damn website I mentioned and see the ratings that we've done for the movies that we've covered. You can see AJ's, you can see mine, you can see Mike's, you can see the shows overall. I love you. Goodbye.
2 ways to directly support this podcast. Number 1, support our sponsors. DraftKings Sportsbook, every plate. When you go get something from them, that supports our podcast and puts something cool into your pocket. And also go to patreon.com/confusedbreakfast to directly sponsor this show and get some super cool perks. We are part of the Upload Media Group. They are producing this show in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. We got Craig back on the controls. UploadMediaGroup.com, and we're on the Cloud 10 iHeart Podcast Network. Learn more at cloud10.fm. That's it for us. See you the fuck later.
Later, dudes.
Later, dudes.